All right, so final video in this, little tech sales course, part five. How do you get a job in tech sales? And for those of you who don't know me by now, I'm Smear. I'm the founder of Tech Sales Mentors. We help you get jobs in tech sales. So, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But let's talk a little bit about what you just went through. So you just learned a lot about tech sales, and that is awesome. But I also want to be honest with you. An SDR certification isn't going to get you a job in tech. It's a great first step to, on your own, just start learning about the industry and understand what's ahead for you. And even show this to employers that you are taking steps to be committed. But now there are different hurdles once you actually begin the job search. So let's talk through a few of those. One is just getting into interviews. I don't know when you're viewing this, but right now I'm recording this in early-ish 2023, March 2023, and right now the tech sales market is not in favor of the employees. It is definitely an employer's market right now. There's been layoffs for about the past 6 to 9 months or so. And there's lots of talent for companies to choose from in the short term. So they're still being paid well, but these companies are just being much more selective on who they hire because there's a lot more experienced talent out there. So that'll be sort of the first hurdle for you is, how do I get into interviews? It's not easy. And then the second part is, cool, now your interviews, can you just show them the certification and that's it, that's over? Unfortunately not. So tech companies generally have longer interview processes. They're from the range of 3 to 5 interview rounds over a few week process. Maybe there's assignment portion in that. In the assignment portion, you can definitely use some of this certification to crush that assignment. But really, in these interviews, you need to demonstrate good storytelling skills. You need to talk about stories from your past that are relevant to the skills you'll need in an SDR role. And you need to show really good preparation you did on understanding what these companies do, how they help customers, having, thoughtful questions for the interviewers at the end. That can be really tough. And then finally, deciding what offer to take, right? Or negotiating your offer. So long road ahead from here. And here kind of wanted to walk through what are the paths to take based on what your specific goals may be in your specific situation in life. So let's talk about, the most common approach is do it yourself, right? So you can basically utilize free resources on LinkedIn. If you look on LinkedIn, there's people in tech sales who will comment advice, post advice. YouTube, you'll find content. Tech Sales Mentors, we have content. So if you go to our website, you can go to the essays section, and then you'll see this little, four-part series in how to get a job in tech sales. So you can check out those. So there's free resources out there, but what are the pros and cons of it? So one, I think you should do this if you want to spend $0. Cool, do this option. If you aren't that committed yet to this career path and you're just dipping your toes in still, take this path. If you don't care that this job search will take many months on end, then take this path if you're not in a rush. But why shouldn't you do this? Well, it doesn't cost money, but it's going to cost you time, right? So, what I'll see is it can take anywhere from 3 to 12 months to, get a job in tech sales. For instance, I remember speaking to a candidate who was considering working with us about a year ago, and, I saw her profile the other day, and she still doesn't have a job in tech sales, and that really sucks, but, it can be hard when you're out on your own, and there's all these free resources out there, and that's awesome, but you may not be getting the advice you need for your specific situation, right? Or the advice you're reading isn't really the issue you're facing. Or you may not even know the issue you're facing, right? Because you're new to this. And then the last reason I think you should avoid this path is just sometimes when you're new to an industry, you don't know the landmines, right? The potential things to watch out for. So the company you could be joining could have red flags. The type of role you could be joining could have red flags that are just not great for your long-term career path or career growth, which just means like, oh, at some point you'll realize that maybe 6 months in, maybe a year in, and you'll have to like restart at another company. So, in part 2, I talked about, the career path after being an SDR. Generally, you can't go from being an SDR to being an AE at another company. That SDR promotion path to an AE role, an AM role, SDR manager role only happens within the company. It doesn't happen externally. So you can't be an SDR 1 year at one place and then go be an AE at another company. Generally, you have to start over as SDR at a company. So something to keep in mind. So then, there's these tech sales boot camps that are out now. So basically, you will learn tech sales for 2 to 4 months before mostly leading your job search on your own. So kind of like what I just went through with this whole course. It's that, but like just a lot more details, a lot slower, I guess is what I'd say. So I think these tech sales boot camps are very valuable for a specific type of person. So let me walk through that type of person. Maybe you have never really used like a computer before. Like, sure, you use your mobile phone, but like you don't find yourself using your computer on a weekly basis, or you're not like ever really using like email, right? Or something like that. They will handhold you throughout that process. Maybe you have very poor communication skills. So maybe you're not that great of a verbal communicator. And you need a lot of time and space to work on that stuff. So I think like these tech sale boot camps are great for people who like maybe just haven't been that much of like a high achiever in life, maybe don't have the best communication skills, maybe aren't that like technically savvy, not like technically in terms of coding, but when it comes to like basic computer literacy, using a computer and finding their way around it. I think it's great for them. Why shouldn't you do this? So one is just like the way you're taught is more so in like a class format and a lecture format. Like I think they generally have like cohorts. It's you and 30 or 50 other candidates in a Zoom being taught by sort of one teacher. So you don't have one-to-one attention. Maybe you're not figuring out the exact problem that you need solved for you. Generally, I'll see like it take 3+ months for people to get placed down this path. So kind of you'll do the training for 2 to 4 months, and then so maybe it's 3 months is even longer. So it'll take 2 to 4 months to train you, and then there's another few months added on to that for the job search. Maybe another 2 to 4 months on top of the 2 to 4 months of training. So if you want this to go faster, then maybe not the best option. And then the last reason you shouldn't do it is just it's the most expensive option. These tech sales boot camps hire lots of people, so they to justify their to basically cover all the costs and like still make a profit, they need to charge candidates a lot. So let's talk through option 3, tech sales mentors, what we do over here. So our company, basically what we do is we place you with a mentor in tech sales, 1-to-1 through every step of the job search. So I just taught you tech sales through this course. When you start working with us, we immediately jump into interviewing now. So, you get paired up with mentors. So let me like just show you some of the mentors out there. So, Chris is one of them. Chris is dope. He is a enterprise account executive at HubSpot. So, he's been in this game a very long time and kind of like progressed very quickly to being an enterprise rep. And you can see, top performer award. So he's great. He's someone who will hold you accountable and be really high energy and give you lots of great feedback. Like he loves mentoring reps. Some other people are like Nigel. So Nigel is really cool. Me and Nigel just placed a candidate together. So Nigel is someone who I worked at with Sift, and he was an account executive there for a while, and now he's at Circle. Circle is probably one of the more well-known names in the crypto space, and he's doing amazing stuff there. So he's someone who I think, what I really like about him is he's great at storytelling and sort of like being creative. He will get into the weeds of your life story and really understand how to pitch like what it is that's true about you and why it relates to the SDR role. So I think he does a great job there. Chris's wife, she's another person who's in this game with us. So she's also in tech sales. She's been account executive for years as well. And, the other day we were just working on a cold call with a candidate, and she hammered away at that candidate. She's like, how hard do you want me to go on the candidate? And I said, on a scale 1 to 10, she gave me, I said, go a 7 or 8. And basically we're going to prep you hard, right? We're going to over prepare you. So then the actual cold call you have to do during your interview is much easier. So, she's awesome. So lots of mentors like that who are great at what they do. So why should you, join Tech Sales Mentors? First reason is just you want to get a job fast and you want to make money and start your career ASAP. So we will, on average, we've placed 37 candidates to date, and you can see that number always updated on our website. So maybe you're watching this now and this number's higher. But we place candidates on average in 6 weeks. That's how long it takes us from day one of working with them to them signing an offer with a company. So really, we just streamline the process a lot faster. What we do is week 1, we are sending emails on your behalf to get you into interviews. You don't have to lift a finger to get into interviews. We will do that for you. Instead of applying online in that black hole where we'll never hear back, we will cold email recruiters and hiring managers on your behalf, sell you, and in any given week, we will email, let's say, 10 people, and we can expect 2 to 4 of them will respond with saying, yeah, let's do an interview. So that's week 1. Weeks 2 through 4-ish, 2 through 5-ish are doing mock interviews with your mentor. We know the questions you're going to get asked. We know what these employers want to hear in answers. So we'll really get on those mock interviews with you, and really whatever you're saying wrong, we'll say, no, don't say that. Say this instead. Or, oh, you're saying that? That's amazing. Keep going on that. So you'll really get the feedback you need to actually know what you need to say, right? I think sometimes you'll finish an interview and you're like, oh, yeah, that went well. And then you'll hear a rejection and you're like, I don't know where I went wrong. And, I'm not getting feedback from the employer. So we'll make sure you get that feedback so you know exactly what you need to fix. And then week 6 is just, you'll end up with a few offers, and we'll help you think through which one's best for your long-term career growth. Again, we don't want you to just get any job in tech. We want you to get the best possible job that will accelerate your career the most. That's what gets us fired up. So, and yeah, if you only end up with one offer, then we'll help you negotiate it higher if possible. So, that's how the program's sort of structured. So then, why should you do this? Another reason is just kind of about you. Do you have good communication skills? Can you verbally communicate confidently with high energy? And yeah, you've just been a good communicator throughout your life. Are you committed to this? So, we'll require you to work 10 to 15 hours, through this, 6-week process. That's how we can accomplish this so fast, is because we're working hard as hell on our end to make sure this is happening. You need to also be in on this. So you have to be ready to work hard. And the last reason to do this is just, it's the way we get compensated is, we get paid by you, but we only get paid if you accept a job that you want. So it's no risk on your end where it's just okay, well, if they don't deliver the service, then I don't pay. But if we do, then like you pay, right? So our incentives are aligned there. It's kind of like the exact opposite of college where you pay 80K and they don't even, guarantee you a job or whatever. So why shouldn't you do this? Well, one, like if you have poor communication skills, we can't fix that in a 6-week process. Like if you're not a good verbal communicator, we can't fix that in a 6-week process, and we're not a good fit for you. And we would recommend, something like a tech sales bootcamp or working on your communication skills before joining us. Or if you just have poor computer skills, right? So like if you've never really used a computer, again, you're just gonna like get behind, and we're gonna be worried about like that stuff rather than like fixing your interview answers, and it's not a good fit in that sense. Another reason is the program's highly selective. Like the reason we're able to place people in 6 weeks is because we're working with candidates who are very committed to this, who have great verbal communication skills, and someone who can listen to directions, right? We have a process down. We know like what is the formula necessary, what are the things we need to do to get a candidate a job. So we're going to tell you as a candidate what to do. You gotta execute on that. You can't be like, I don't want to do that or whatever. So like through an application that we have, we're highly selective in who we decide to work with, because if we bring on someone who's not a great fit, then hey, like it's not going to work out for you as a candidate, and it's not going to work out for us either. And then the last reason you shouldn't do this is like you're not an intense person. You don't have a get shit done mentality where you're just like, I want to go fast, and I want to accomplish this thing, right? Like that's the mentality that we have, and that's why we place people, very quickly is because we're intense and, we're focused on getting shit done. So, of course I'm biased, but this is obviously the best option. You get one-on-one attention, and we're focused not just on getting you any job in tech. We want to get you the best possible job in tech sales. We're there with you every step of the way. Don't even have to do anything to get into interviews. You just got to focus on following our directions, taking in our feedback in interviews, and executing that and delivering that, confidently in an interview. So, next steps from here. So, one, if after you watch that, you decide you don't want to work with tech sales mentors, well, this is all I have to say to you is you're tacky and I hate you. I'm just kidding. But, if you don't want to work with us, totally fine. Totally get it. Best of luck. But please, share this, whole course with any of your friends or family members or whoever who's even interested in tech sales. Like, I want people to have this information for free. I don't want them to have to pay thousands of dollars just to understand if they're interested in this career path or not. But hey, if you decide you want to work with us, let's chat. So you can go to our website, techsalesmentors.com, and just hit this button, talk to a tech sales mentor, and then you can, choose a time that works for you, and we can chat from there. Cool. Well, thanks for joining me. This was awesome. Hope it was helpful. Feel free to leave me any feedback. You can message me on LinkedIn, whatever. You can message on YouTube if that's where you're watching it. Would love your feedback on how this all was, and maybe, anything else you'd wish I'd create videos on. Cool. Peace.